Hey, this is Rocket Brain Surgeon. Today we're looking at the AMX 5100 following pre-Cambrian round in this French Tier 8 heavy tank. This tank is the first real tank, like non-light tank, autoloader that you're going to come across in the game, and is kind of the epitome of what the tanks above it are going to be like. So if you don't like the AMX 5100, you're going to be in for a rough time. However, if you love this tank, then you can expect more goodness to come. Since the autoloader is the defining characteristic, let's start there. 6-round clip. Each shot deals 300 average damage, meaning you have 1800 damage in the clip. If you meet an enemy Tier 8 or lower tank in a one-on-one combat and you are fully loaded, you can just cycle them out with them doing relatively little damage back in return. This phenomenon is incredibly powerful, and it's one of the reasons why the 5100 is very strong in organized play, because they only need to have one really powerful short-term engagement to decide the game. It takes 2.7 seconds in between shots for the next shot to reload. This can be somewhat problematic when you're trying to cycle someone out, as they're going to be able to get at least 2 shots onto you no matter what the Tier 8 tank is, and that can be very damaging. For example, if you're up against an IS-3, he gets his initial shot off you. Before you kill him, he's going to be able to get another one as well. 800 out of 1400 hit points gone. That can be a huge problem. As a general rule of thumb with the 5100, try to hit the reload button as little as possible. If you never hit the manual reload button, you wouldn't be doing a whole lot wrong. The reload time is so incredibly long that it becomes detrimental. On something like the 50B, I'll reload even with 3 still in the clip, because 30 seconds you can do a bit of relocation in that time and still be relevant to the fight. But the AMX 5100, just, God, that reload is 50 seconds long, and your gun is not active enough for what you're getting out of it. The gun handling is a weak part of the tank. First of all, the gun depression, as you saw right there, is only -5 degrees. There are going to be some spots which cause you a little bit of trouble. You don't run into it too terribly much, though. But the gun handling, the bloom, you're not going to out-snap somebody. That's not going to happen. But once the reticle is closed in on a target, subsequent shots are going to fly just great. Sometimes with an autoloader like the T57 Heavy, it reloads so fast in between shots that shots 2, 3, 4 are going to be off target. With the 5100, subsequent shots are very accurate. The only downside, I think, to the gun is the lack of a good premium round. You can see Precam is using exclusively premium because he has more credits than God, I'm sure. But it's really unnecessary. I don't know how much value gained from it. The base round penetration is 232. The premium round penetration is like 260. I don't know what you're penetrating with 260 that you're not with 230. Maybe the lower hulls of some Tier 10 tanks are a little bit easier with that added penetration. But if you're sitting in front of Tier 10 tanks in the 5100, that's not going to go very well for you. Let's bring up the armor. Nope. Now we're done with the armor section. The mobility of the 5100 is what makes it a real joy to play. You can be anywhere on the map at any given time, so you can empty your clip on one flank of the battlefield, use that 50 seconds to easily get to the next flank of the battlefield, pop up somewhere, and just annihilate that flank too. So you have a lot of flexibility, and the only thing that's limiting you with the 5100 is just your imagination, kids. When top tier, the tank is brilliant. Every tank opposite you has to respect that enormous potential for getting clipped out, and so a lot of tanks will try to stay in cover at all costs. As the tiers get higher, though, the hit points go up and the effective aim time of enemy tanks goes up, and the effective armor of enemy tanks goes up. And all of it's really tough to do, especially with the better effective aim times of higher tier tanks. And you can see the terrible bloom of the 5100 makes it kind of difficult to get to volley shots. You're typically reduced to getting 1 to 2 shots off and then retreating before you take a massive amount of incoming fire. Also, when you get to higher tiers, there's an overmatching problem. The armor is so weak that shells will auto-penetrate if they make contact anywhere, no matter what the angle. Overall, though, the 5100 is a favorite of a lot of people, and it's an incredibly strong tank in pub and competitive play. Hope you